Hi. So I'm going to be having a go at Flat Earth Simulator. I've never played this before. I'm not even sure the word played is right. But I noticed this. I've been advertised to me on Steam the other day, and I've been having some fun communicating with some flat earthers, so I thought this might be interesting to have a go on. It says play. It says play. Warning. The following presentation might include information that is highly contested by the established consensus. The information will be presented as it stands by the flat earth theory. What you might learn can never be unseen. Didn't really use much time to read that. At least not allowed. Okay. Let's have a look and see.
Since the Victorian age, humanity has given in to the illusion that there is a natural world which can be measured and understood, and through close observation, a resemblance of natural truth can be gained. Every corner of the world needed to be measured and catalogued. Through the times of further industrialization and the development of our modern society, many deemed truths of bygone eras irrelevant and dangerous, so they discarded them without asking. On the other hand, they accepted truths from periods more aligned with the political landscape of modernity without question. One question nobody seemed to pose and no one ever again seemed to doubt was the shape of our world. Although our daily experiences do not suggest that the Earth is a globe, everyone seemed to just believe it as a fact. Until one brave American decided to research matters more thoroughly. Samuel Rowbotham, also known as Parallax. Why has modern science failed to recognize the true shape of the Earth? Don't astronomy and the space programs clearly disprove what humanity believed in for centuries? The Flat Earth theory states that modern science is ill-equipped to answer the question because of zeticism. A zetetic forms the question, then immediately sets to work making observations and performing experiments to answer this question. It turns out, we have been asking the wrong questions all along.
Okay. Well, I watched the whole intro, and first of all, wasn't paying that much attention, but that big thing that went past looked more like Mercury than the moon to me at first glance. As I wasn't paying enough attention to be sure of that, but it only occurred to me when it was almost off the screen. Secondly, I love this as if this is a Victorian thing, that the globe... There were ancient Greeks, and I'm assuming others from other cultures, I know the Greeks better, who knew the Earth was around a long time ago, thousands of years ago. It's not a Victorian era conceit. Well, there may have been lots of people who weren't aware of it, didn't have an education of any sort, and only went on what they saw. Can't really blame them for that. It wasn't uncommon knowledge. Anyway, let's have a go at what this does. Start. You've taken your first step into a larger world, it tells me at the bottom corner. Hold right mouse button to rotate. Okay. Use the scroll wheel to zoom. Yeah, okay, I can do that. Yeah. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Oh, the atmoplane. The cover-up. The sun. Space programs. The moon. The summer gate. The Antarctic ice wall. Oh my god. Okay. Let's have a look at... Let's see what this says about the sun, first of all.
The sun. The sun is a revolving sphere.
True.
It has a diameter of 32 miles and is located approximately 3,000 miles above the surface of the Earth.
No.
The sun's area of light is similar to the spotlight of a searchlight. This means that only certain portions of the Earth are illuminated at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It also describes how night and day arise on a flat Earth. The apparent view of rising and setting are caused by perspective. Just as
a mysterious central point of rotation.
Oh, I like that. As they fly into the distance. Together with the moon, the sun rotates around a mysterious central point of rotation.
Okay, hang on. Together with the moon, the sun rotates around a mysterious central point of rotation. One thing I've encountered from flat earthers is the numbers who don't believe in gravity. They'll claim that it's atmospheric pressure or various things that keep things on the ground. It's amusing to me that they don't believe in gravity, but this simulator, just talks about a mysterious central point of rotation, as if that's just going to be acceptable. Okay, close that. Now let's check the moon.
The moon. The moon is a revolving sphere.
Yeah, kind of.
It has a diameter of 32 miles
Same
and
size as
is
the sun.
located approximately 3,000 miles above the surface of the Earth.
Are you convinced?
The moon
Not
is
yet.
thought to be spherical due to a slight rocking back and forth over its monthly cycle. The moon does not emit light by itself. It is lit by the sun. It moves from 3,000 miles to 2,000 miles over the duration of a month, thus causing the lunar cycle we observe as new moon, half moon, and full moon. It is still debated by many of the planar astronomers if the moon has a surface sufficient for anyone to stand upon it. Parallax theorized that the moon might not be as real as it seems. For example, a strong, unnatural glow around its edge can be observed by anyone with a telescope or camera with sufficient zoom capabilities. Some citizen scholars investigating this interesting natural phenomena also agree that the moon is either a projection or an atmospheric reflection of a body closely orbiting the rim of the Terran plane. But for the model of the monopole flat Earth, the question of the moon's solidity is not relevant. In 1969, the moon was the setting of a fictional worldwide television broadcast in which the United States of America, more specifically NASA, claimed to have landed on the moon. The hoax was discovered by independent researchers, but many of them have since been silenced by NASA agents or pressured into publicly stating that they were wrong.
Okay. So, moon is the same size as the sun. This is the flat Earth thing. And phases are somehow explained by it going from 3,000 miles away to 2,000 miles away. And then we might change the apparent size. I'm not sure how you get phases from that, but I love the term citizen scholars. Oh my god. The fictional worldwide television broadcast in which the United States of America... Okay, yes, the United States was definitely the most significant country involved in the moon landing, but it wasn't the only one. Just as one observation, the Australia, where I live, was involved. The signals that came from Apollo 11 on the moon, initial signals came via radio telescopes in Australia. You know, so this is not just if this was a conspiracy, it's an international conspiracy, not just an American one, not just NASA. Also, this is nothing new. The Russians, the Soviets, were engaged in a race to the moon. The space race. If America had not landed on the moon, the Russians definitely would have wanted to expose that. So the Russians, I mean the Soviets, of course. But let's be clear. Yeah, okay. Right, okay, close. So I was hoping this thing might explain eclipses. Maybe it will later on, because that's what sparked my arguments and nothing. What is this? Next clue in 708 seconds or so. Well, let's see. It's 15 minutes. I'm not sure if we can be able to put up with this for 15 minutes. Anyway, the atmoplane.
The atmoplane. The atmoplane, or atmolayer, is a series of gas layers above the inhabited part of the Earth. If the Earth is finite, as shown in this model, the atmoplane gets thinner and less dense towards the edges, where the Arctic ice wall stops the atmoplane from flowing off the edge. If the infinite Earth hypothesis is true, the atmoplane would possibly extend as infinitely as the Earth does. The atmoplane is separated into the following layers. The tropolayer, where most of the regular aircraft travel, up to 11 miles. The stratolayer, the highest ever reached layer by humans that can be reasonably confirmed, up to 30 miles. The extent of the mesolayer and ionolayer are still debated. Their existence is assumed by the phenomenon of meteors and polar lights.
Okay. Yeah, this isn't quite as batshit crazy as the other stuff, in my view, but it's still a bit ridiculous. And I love that they're postulating hypothetical layers. Why bother? Frankly, your model's much simpler without them, and your model's crazy anyway. Anyway, let's have a look. Close. Still want to know what this next clue is. I'm going to have to sit here and wait for the 10 minutes it's going to do that. Well, the moon, the cover-up, space programs, the summit. Okay, the Antarctic ice wall. This is one of the craziest things.
The Antarctic ice wall. At the outer edge of the world, we find the Antarctic ice wall. The wall was first discovered in 1841 by the British explorer James Clark Ross when he circumnavigated the edge of the known Earth, though he thought himself to be at the southern pole because he simply followed the magnetic field which develops outwards from the center.
What the hell does that mean?
The ice wall is, along most of its length, 150 meters high and, by the description of Ross, an impenetrable shield of ice, snow, and rock. Several expeditions tried to reach the presumed South Pole until the Norwegian Roland Amundsen staged a successful journey to the South Pole at one of the few places where the ice wall can be accessed. Beyond the ice wall exists a mountain range up to 2,000 meters high. Beyond that, the theories vary. Some predict that there is a rim. Others theorize that the world stretches indefinitely. Today, a select few ships can visit the outer border of the planar rim. It gets sold as the southern tip of the Earth, but evidence suggests it is only the furthest from the center. If the Arctic ice wall is the outer point of the world, it cannot be clearly determined, due to the fact that no one has ever crossed the mountain range to our knowledge. The extent of the Terran plain cannot be reasonably determined.
Okay. It's Antarctica. Anyone who has the money can go to Antarctica. Now, yeah, okay, most people who go, tourists, they go to the edge, sure. But there have been plenty of people who've gone a lot further than that. There are bases at the South Pole. I mean, I just don't fathom. And beyond the ice wall follows a mountain range up to 2,000 meters high. That's pathetic for a mountain range. I mean, it's tallish, but there are mountains. What? 5? God, I don't know. This is just ridiculous. I'm losing the will. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. No one has ever crossed the mountain range to your knowledge. Well, your knowledge is pathetic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I honestly think that you don't even believe this one. You can't even commit to it. Okay. The Antarctic ice wall. Okay, next. Still 47 minutes to go. The Summer Gate. Okay.
The Summer Gate. In this model, the Terran plane is represented as a solid disk with an end and a start. However, this is not the only model. Out of a sense of fairness, we should mention the infinite Earth theory. It states that the Terran plane is not finite, and that beyond the ice wall, other lands exist. The most popular of these theories is the Summer Gate theory. It states that the ice wall just near New Zealand melts during the summer and leaves passage open to another ring of continents on the Terran plane. These continents are lit by another sol, called Bol, or Nemesis. The transfer will only be possible during summer as long as Bol and Sol are near each other, so only during a short night a ship might traverse the gate and re-emerge in the light of Bol on the other side.
Okay, would all you flat earthers please get on a ship and go there?
Near impossible. While one can traverse along the Arctic ice wall with the approval of the UN, no expedition is allowed near the supposed Summer Gate location. This gives the theory credibility and raises one question. If the Summer Gate is real, what might lie beyond its path? Some theorize that the mythical places of Atlantis and Hyperborea, or many of the other lost continents of history, are just behind the Arctic ice wall.
Okay. What can I say here? One, this is acknowledging there is more than one flat Earth theory. Well, there's only one globe Earth theory because it's right. We don't have multiple theories. We know what's going on. The fact you've got multiple theories, you can contemplate multiple flat Earth theories, but you can't seem to even contemplate the possibility that the Earth might not be flat. Secondly, now the UN's involved. Where did the UN get involved in this? The UN's only existed since the 1940s. People have been going to Antarctica since before that. So did they suddenly decide to close it down? No, they didn't. I mean, it would cost, again, a lot of money, but anyone can get a ship and go anywhere they like on the high seas. Some places you might get shot at, but that's not what they're talking about here. Oh my God. Can all you flat earthers please buy a ship and go and investigate? You'll either prove yourselves wrong, which would be great, or you'll find this other world and you'll sail into it and we won't have to put up with you. Oh my God. I say that as a devout atheist, by the way. Oh, that's what you're driving me to. No. Sorry. This isn't... Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's about another 4 minutes to this next clue. I don't know what that's going to be, but what haven't I looked at? Okay, I want to see the space programs. What do they say about the space programs?
Space programs. In the 1950s, during the Cold War, the two opposing blocs of the totalitarian USSR and the free world under the leadership of the United States started the competition of the supposed space race. Why space and its supposed conquest was so important was explained by Senate Majority Leader and later President Lyndon B. Johnson. Quote, "Control of space means control of the world, the position of total control over the Earth that lies somewhere in outer space." This statement proves space was seen as an ultimate achievement, primarily on the grounds of propaganda and the invoking of fear of war capabilities. A few months later, NASA was established. The Soviets, meanwhile, resorted to their first hoaxes with a supposed Sputnik satellite. This was in reality just a radio transmission that was broadcasted by a high-altitude aircraft, as previously uncovered documents at the end of the USSR in 1990 show. However, these documents have since been confiscated by various actors. Most of the rockets tested since the beginning of the space race have been failures. Some observers see in modern rocket launches nothing more than oversized effect shows that shoot a rocket a few thousand miles into the atmoplane until it is out of sight for most of the observers, where it deploys its parachutes and drops into the sea or is destroyed. What was at first just a game of intimidation by posturing with so-called achievements in space travel developed into a huge financial scam during the 80s and beyond to the modern day, where companies pay for satellites that would supposedly be put into orbit for up to $10,000 per ton of payload. Hereby, not only do satellite manufacturers and NASA profit from the fraud, but also other new players such as SpaceX. Developing countries such as India also participate in the scam, in the hope that the huge sums involved would benefit their economies. A large community of citizen scientists do an excellent job in debunking many of the new fantasy space travel images from NASA and other agencies that are simply produced in their movie studios, while the transmission of satellites are just relayed through a global network of radio towers. There is no flat Earth conspiracy, but a fake space flight cabal that uses the illusion of space travel to make trillions worldwide.
Okay. One, I'm not sure you can call India a developing country. I'm not sure of the technical terms used now, but this is a country that is launching significant, amounts of space infrastructure. They've landed, a lander on the moon. But just leaving that aside, this is presenting the space thing as still virtually being just the US and Russia. Australia launched its first satellite in, I think, 1967. We haven't launched many, but we have launched them. Again, this is international. This is all these countries. And none of them are going to cede superiority to the United States without a damned good reason. I mean, seriously. If this was all being faked, somewhere in Africa, all the countries in Africa, all the countries in South America, the European, Australian, American centric world don't pay much attention to, at least one of them would be saying, hey, we've been into space if it was a fake, if it was easy. Oh, good God. This is just absurd. Citizen scientists again, I'm going to love that terminology, but oh, good grief. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look at the... Yeah, this thing. So you've got Lyndon Johnson as the senator talking about how important of space, control of space is to the United States, basically. And then they let the Russians fake a satellite before the Americans could fake a satellite? No. The Russians, Soviets, again I keep saying Russians, the Soviets got into space first because they won that first part of the space race. It was difficult, it was complicated, it was hard to do, and they made it first. If it was all fake, gosh, Britain would have done it before America. It didn't want to cede, the idea of superpowers to the United States. There would have been the British Imperial Space Force would have faked spacecraft in the 50s. I just don't understand these people. Oh, this is, yeah. Okay, I'm not saying rant over, but rant going to close just for a moment. Now, finally, what else have we got? The cover-up. Oh, that's right. Okay. What's the next clue? Hang on, we've got a new one, have we? The moon, the cover-up, space programs, the Antarctic ice wall, the sun. I wonder what this next clue is now, because it's changed to that. Anyway, let's look at the cover-up.
The cover-up. The fake space programs of NASA and the Russians are the reason why the weak sphere model has been
not just NASA and the Russians! European Space Agency!
The true shape of the Earth. During
India! China!
They showed pictures of the spheroid Earth.
China has a space station up there!
Organizations like the United Nations even show the true shape of the Earth on their flag. Because the UN was founded before NASA, the designer of the flag took the model of the monopole flat Earth as a representation. Although by the mid-60s, most of those institutions had recognized the hoaxes of the space programs, they continued to support it. The immense sums of money that are invested by governments and corporations in supposed space programs are used, to a large extent, to pay off the officials and many people who know about the true shape of the Earth, as well as so-called educators on TV. In truth, an intricate web of lies has been spun to obstruct the public's clear view on reality.
Finally, a sensible statement. In truth, an intricate web of lies has been spun to obstruct the public's clear view on reality. Yes, and this is part of that intricate web of lies. It's not. Sorry, no. I'm exaggerating. It's not intricate. It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. But okay. The fake space programs of NASA and the Russians. I ranted about this, but European Space Agency launched. France launched rockets without being part of the ESA. India and China have active space programs. Detailed active space programs now. It's not NASA and the Russians. And if you're going to talk about to compare NASA to the... can you at least be consistent? You need NASA to be Roscosmos or something. I don't know the current term. I've forgotten, but... sorry. NASA doesn't hide the true face of the shape of the Earth. What? NASA doesn't hide the true shape of the Earth. NASA is committed to the idea, and I don't need to believe it says that the Earth is round. It's a globe. So if they're not hiding the true shape of the Earth, what the hell are you people saying? Oh God! And the UN. Oh God! Yeah, the UN. Part of the cover-up is let's make a big flag with the picture of the flat Earth on it. Oh my God! What is wrong with you people? I wonder if I can flip this over. No, can't flip. What's underneath? Oh, upside down mountains. Yeah. No. What's up here? Oh. Let's have a look. Oh, this is the simulator bit, is it? So I can speed up, can I? Woo! Wow! I was hoping to stand about eclipses, quite frankly. Waypoints. Oh, yep, clouds. Oh, I can get rid of the clouds. Time zones! Woohoo! Air traffic. Yeah, okay. That's weird. Make the moon bigger! Whoa! Well, that's a problem. Crash the moon is the flat Earth. That was actually amusing. Orbit of the sun. Woo, 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 woo. Sun distance. Reset. Sun distance. Oh, right. I can't crash the sun into the. Oh, can I? I make the sun really big. Whoa! That would hurt. I think I just hit North America. I think I can't see it. Let's take the clouds off. So, what did I just hit with the sun? No, was it? Well, I think I did hit North America, but that was also Europe and Africa. Okay, this is the simulator. Okay, yeah, well, what's the point of this simulator? You've already told us the sun's 32 miles diameter. Why am I allowed to make it bigger? Can I crash the moon into the sun, making them both really big? Well, let's have a look. It doesn't let me make. So, okay, it doesn't let me make the moon. Well, doesn't let me make the moon the same size as big as the sun, even though their claim is that. Oh, their claim is that they're the same size, but when I use their simulator, well, let me change the size. Won't let me change the size. Ooh, let's spin it around. Ooh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And yeah, there's nothing. I mean, say this is a simulator. I would have thought at the very least you'd try and address how eclipses happen if you're going to try and convince anyone with this Yeah, okay. I think I'm done. I'm just losing any will to go on with this. Maybe that was interesting. I don't know. Bye for now.